Tonight on Ctv3 News, Recondove shake-up meter out, but political questions remain. In the West, police investigate alleged animal cruelty after disturbing video emerges from Cotton Tree. From family tragedy to life sentence, Miguelito and Calada jailed for wife and brother's murders. And in the area of the justice system, legal war erupts as Belize's top attorneys clash over high court appointments. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Monday, July 28, 2026.
There's going to be 5 modules that we will be looking at. The first one would be the duties of traffic wardens, power of arrest, and the legislative amendments as it relates to DUI. The second module looks at report writing, and then we look at motorcycle helmets and its standards. On Wednesday, we look at the proper use of breathalyzers, and then we'll do some training related to that. On Thursday, we then look at electronic evidence as it relates to the changes in legislation and the use of the body cams and dash cams. And on Friday, of course, we'll be doing a simulation on a case file preparation.
Please remember, the rules are there for a reason. The regulations are there for a reason. It's not to bypass them. It's to ensure that you protect the citizens of Belize.
We're not here to just teach you. We're also here to learn from you. You are the ones who are on the streets every day doing traffic enforcements. So you know what are the issues that affects you and should be able to guide us so that we can correct those issues.
At the beginning, it was a bit challenging because it sounded so good and so promising that I think people were reluctant in embracing the idea. But after 2 years in this NHI program, the perception of people and the usage of people for the services that we offer is very much appreciated. And the people are using all the services that we have. And our population has grown a lot. We actually have registered, which by the way I have to mention this, we never expected to grow this fast. We are at 12,000 and plus registered patients with us right now. And the numbers are growing on a daily basis, I would say. For the general physicians and the specialists that include the gynecologist, the pediatrician and the internist. And now we have a nutritionist, it's $2, which is very accessible to people. And when it comes to the laboratory or the images, it's just a 10% cost that they pay for the whole service that is offered. If we have a healthy community, then I would say that the whole country itself is going to benefit from it, because a healthy community is going to be successful economically as a whole. That is my vision of the NHI. Its service, its purpose.
Today will be the inauguration of the backup water system. This will be able to assist the Pomona Water Board to expand, and if there's a breakdown with the current system, this can also be a backup. There are times when, especially in the dry season, when the current system might run low or might run dry, and that by itself creates a problem to fetch water. So we are hopeful that if this is not used as much right now, When the other system runs low, this will kick in.
We must ensure that people have access to clean, safe, potable water, just like everybody else across this country. What you see here today is an investment of over $160,000. It includes all the pipes that you see here. We also have other accessories. We have a backup generator. We have the solar system. And we also have a booster pump.
The most difficult part that hinders development is the access of water. We have reduced significantly the amount of people that were deprived from accessing a basic need such as water.
I am elated, very happy to be here, receiving the system. I think everybody would be very happy, very happy.
When we call it, we have no water, no nothing. That was an empty spot, but it's home now. They have a pipe right out there, so it's still okay, just that we had to reach up to get the water. I cannot wait to have it reach to our door.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. The government last week announced a restructuring of the board of the Reconstruction and Development Corporation, RECONDEV, following weeks of controversy surrounding the Mira family and millions of dollars in Ministry of Defense contracts awarded to businesses linked to them. The shakeup comes as the government continues its response to the procurement scandal, which also led to Minister Oscar Mira being placed on 3 months administrative leave while an independent audit into the contracts is conducted. The most significant change to the board is the removal of Brian Mira as chairman. He has been replaced by retired educator Myrna Tibby Waite. Waite is no stranger to the corporation, having previously served as deputy chair. She is also a member of the National Women's Commission and the daughter of former PUP Cayo South Area Representative Samuel Waite. While the reshuffle of the board has been welcomed by many, questions have also been raised about whether Waite has any connection to the Mira family. However, her sister, Ella Waite, president of the National Trade Union Congress of Belize, NTUCB, dismissed those claims over the weekend.
I will have a little bit bias on that, and I'll be very honest. The chair now is my sister. My sister, Myrna Waite. Myrna Waite. No, she's not married. Her name is Myrna Waite, daughter of Samuel Waite.
But she doesn't have any link to the Miras?
No.
Because people are claiming that.
Wow, you see, no. She is not married to anyone. Her name is Myrna Waite, daughter of Samuel Waite. And she is a retired teacher from Belmopan. Belmopan is from ever since. So, and yes, I have to say that she does campaign for the People's United Party. That's her prerogative. But yes, I think when the Prime Minister said the board, I don't know if he meant every single member of the board, because as far as I know, the board did not do anything wrong. If he wanted to remove what was seen as the issue and the board would have been Brian Mira, then that is what he should have done only. But I think for any institution, you want continuity. So I don't think it makes sense to remove everybody from a board because you don't have any continuity. But that's my personal opinion. The question I have to be fair to answer to say that is my sister. I'm very proud of my sister. She has been doing well as a member of the board, and now she is the chair of the board.
Other members of the RECONDEV board are Belmopan Mayor Pablo Kawich, who serves as an ex officio member, along with Lysandra Burby, Wilfredo Galvez, and Cedric Borland. The newly appointed directors are George Castro, Carla Bradley, and Government Press Office Director Michael Rudon. A high court judge has ordered that Miguelito Encalada spend the remainder of his life in prison after he was convicted of the 2023 murders of his wife and brother in a shocking double killing that unfolded in broad daylight in Ladyville. On Monday, the High Court handed Encalada 2 life sentences for the fatal shooting deaths of his wife, Desiree Gonzalez, and his brother, George Rochester. The pair were gunned down in April 2023 in a case that drew widespread public attention. The sentencing follows Encalada's conviction in May when Justice Candice Nanton dismissed his account of the incident. Encalada had claimed that armed men entered his business, shot both victims, and left him unharmed. However, the court found that the evidence presented at trial overwhelmingly contradicted his version of events. Justice Stanton ruled that forensic evidence, including ballistic findings connecting the murders to Encalada's licensed firearm, established his responsibility for the killings beyond a reasonable doubt. Although Encalada has been sentenced to life imprisonment for each murder, Belizean law requires that anyone receiving a life sentence must also be given a specified minimum period to serve before becoming eligible to apply for parole in accordance with rulings from the courts. A disturbing video circulating on social media has sparked widespread outrage after allegedly capturing a man in the village of Cotton Tree viciously beating a dog that was tied up and unable to escape or defend himself. The footage shows a defenseless animal being repeatedly struck while restrained. Individuals who recorded the incident allege that the man appeared to be intoxicated at the time and claim that he has a history of abusing the same dog. Residents also reported that this is not the first time the individual has been accused of mistreating animals. According to community members, another dog was previously removed from his care after similar allegations of abuse. The incident has prompted an investigation by police, who are now looking into the allegations. If sufficient evidence is gathered, the individual could face charges related to animal cruelty under Belizean law.
That video has come to the police's attention. We are in possession of it, and the commissioner has directed for the information as relates to where it occurred to be ascertained. I believe what we have received so far is that it was in Cotton Tree Village. I'm not sure if it has been confirmed, but certainly it is a matter that the department takes seriously because, I mean, there is absolutely no justification for what was seen on that video. So certainly it is being investigated, and as progress is made, that will be forwarded to the media.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Stacy Smith is poised to move up to the ranks of the Belize Police Department after being recommended for promotion to Superintendent of Police, a decision that has sparked discussion within the department after several veteran officers were passed over despite meeting the required standard. Documents reveal that Commissioner of Police Dr. Richard Rosado has submitted Smith's recommendation to the Security Services Commission, the body responsible for approving promotions within the security services. The promotion will only become official once the Commission grants its approval. According to the correspondence, Smith earned the recommendation because she is already carrying out responsibilities typically assigned to a senior superintendent of police, a position above her current rank. The department also noted that she exceeded the required standard during the promotional board process and delivered one of the strongest overall performances among the candidates assessed. We understand that several assistant superintendents appeared before the promotional board seeking advancement to superintendent. However, passing the assessment alone was not enough to secure a promotion, since the department is unable to recommend the promotion because of a shortage of available vacancies. We understand that preference was given to officers already serving in positions designated for the higher rank under the department's approved organizational structure. The process has nevertheless generated controversy, with allegations of favoritism circulating within the department. Much of the attention has centered on Smith's recommendation as veteran assistant superintendents who successfully passed the promotional board were superseded. Today, Smith explained the process to the media.
Whenever anyone reaches the rank of inspector, the process for promotion no longer entails a promotional exam, i.e. a written exam. Below that rank, you would do a written exam, and based upon completing the exam or how you perform in the exam, you would move to the interview process. And based on the performance in the interview process as well as other factors, a decision will be made. When it comes to persons of the rank of inspector and above, the process entails an application by the interested officer to go before the promotional board. A promotional board is convened. I think it's a 5-member panel consisting of senior officers as well as representatives from the security service and the ministry, where the individual officers are placed in front of this panel of 5 persons, and each of them gets an opportunity to ask that officer question relevant to the post to which they wish to occupy. After that is done, the grades are submitted to the commissioner's office, and based on that, he reviews that as well as the performance appraisal and the needs of the department in terms of the administrative needs, and a recommendation is forwarded to the Security Services Commission for the promotion of officers.
What is the standard for a passing mark?
I believe the standard is 60 at this point in time for a passing mark, but I must also say that passing the exam is but, the interview, is but one component. You can have a look at the public service regulations from the Constitution, and you will see what are the criteria that are laid out in it, as well as the policy manual. And it's a gamut of criteria consideration, and they go the extent of stating what order takes priority or where more weight is applied. So I would commend that to you guys, a member of the media, to have a view of the PSR and the manual to see what is required.
The Security Services Commission is now expected to determine whether Smith's promotion to Superintendent of Police will be formally approved. Coming up next, the Justice Under Fire High Court appointment sparked explosive rift in Belize's legal community. Stay tuned.
Money travels fast, so make sure you check it before you spend it. Here are 4 easy ways to know your money is real. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Look closely at your note by holding it to the light to see the watermark and the note value. Notice how the see-through image completes itself perfectly. Feel for authenticity. Run your fingers over the raised portrait and the bars on the edges. 1 bar for the $2 and up to 6 bars for the $100. Tilt the note to see the hidden value appear. Look for the moving images on the security thread and holographic shimmer on higher denominations. Check closely. Use UV light or a magnifying glass to find hidden images and microtext. Remember, handling counterfeit money is illegal. If you spot a fake, report it to the police immediately. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Know your money. Check it before you spend it. A message from the Central Bank of Belize.
It's easy to sit at home and blame the government for crime. A lot of people do it. Politicians do it all the time. It's like a game. Gang members shooting each other or innocent citizens. Blame the government. Blame the police. Narco players executed because of a drug deal gone bad. Blame the government. Blame the police. Domestic violence turned fatal, same thing. Every murder, no matter where, no matter why, same blame game. But our children weren't born criminals. When did they become murderers? Who taught them their values? Who taught them about right and wrong? Where are their parents, their families? It's not too late to save your child. It's not too late to raise your child right. Keep them in school. Keep them off the streets. Teach them the value of hard work. Teach them honesty and integrity. Love them before it's too late. Stop the blame game and let's all be the village that raises our children. A message from the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Violence Prevention and Enforcement Unit.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
The government officially announced last week that it is inviting qualified individuals to apply for the position of ombudsman, a post that has remained vacant for several months. The vacancy has drawn concern from various organizations as the Office of the Ombudsman plays a key role in investigating complaints of maladministration and ensuring accountability within the public sector. President of the National Trade Union Congress of Belize, NTUCB, Ella Waite, welcomed the government's decision to begin the recruitment process. She said the union is pleased to see the efforts being made to fill the important constitutional office after months without an ombudsman.
We wanted to see that post filled. We did not want to see the former ombudsman leave in the first place. I think he was doing a very good job. But that's their decision on whether they renew, in my eyes, whether they renew a contract or not. That's their decision. Now, to leave an office empty when you do not have a replacement for so long, an office that where you and I, common people, can go and take a legal issue with when it comes to the government of Belize, vacant for so long, it is concerning. My understanding is the work still continues at the Ombudsman office, but does it continue to the point where my case, if I take a case there, can be completed through the entire process? So yes, I'm very happy if it took a threat of a civil action, a legal action, to get us here, then I'm happy we're here.
Waite noted that the position is vital to promoting transparency and protecting the rights of ordinary Belizean citizens. A heated public dispute has erupted between two of Belize's leading legal organizations, exposing deep divisions over the appointment of judges to the High Court and raising broader questions about judicial independence, transparency, and the future of the country's justice system. The latest clash pits the Bar Association of Belize against the Association of Defense Attorneys, ADA, with both organizations issuing strongly worded statements over the Judicial and Legal Services Commission's, JLSC, recent appointment of two regional jurists to the High Court bench. The controversy began after the ADA criticized the JLCS's decision to appoint former Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Shaziza Smith of Guyana, and attorney Peter Carter of Trinidad and Tobago. The association argued that the commission overlooked at least 5 qualified Belizean applicants, describing the selection process as unfair and lacking transparency. In its initial statement, the ADA accused the JLSC of displaying arrogant behavior, referred to the government's representatives on the commission as puppets, and called for Chief Justice Louise Blendman to be removed as chairperson of the JLSC. Those remarks prompted a swift response from the Bar Association of Belize, which issued a strongly worded press release expressing outrage at the ADA's comments. The Bar Association characterized the statements as egregious and warned that they amounted to an attack on the constitutional framework governing judicial appointments. According to the Bar Association, the Constitution deliberately shields the Judicial and Legal Services Commission from political influence to preserve the independence of the judiciary. It argued that the ADA's call for government intervention and changes to the Commission's composition effectively invites political interference in a process that is meant to remain free from outside pressure. The Bar Association also defended Chief Justice Louise Blendman and the Commission, rejecting what it described as the ADA's impudent remarks. It emphasized that the Constitution prohibits discrimination in judicial appointments based on nationality and maintained that the Commission is obligated to select candidates on merit rather than citizenship. Rejecting the ADA's criticism that Belize had reached so low, the Bar instead praised the JLSC for what is called for stellar service, asserting that Belize's judicial development has become an example for other Caribbean nations to follow. The exchange, however, did not end there. In a fresh statement, the ADA fired back at the Bar Association, defending its original position while questioning whether the bar is sufficiently engaged with the realities of Belize's criminal justice system. Led by executive member Richard Dickey Bradley, Audrey Matura, and Urson O.J. Elrington, the ADA suggested the Bar Association's outrage was selective. The group said it found it curious that the bar acted so quickly to condemn its comments while remaining largely silent on what is described as the daily challenges confronting ordinary Belizeans seeking justice. The defense attorneys pointed to persistent court delays, a growing backlog of cases, limited access to justice, and ongoing difficulties within the criminal justice system as issues that have not received the same level of public attention from the Bar Association. The ADA also challenged the Bar Association's standing to criticize defense attorneys on matters involving the criminal courts. It argued that while the disputed judicial appointments directly affect the criminal bench, the Bar Association rarely participates in criminal proceedings and has historically declined court appointment cases involving defendants unable to afford legal representation. Rejecting suggestions that this is advocating for political interference, the ADA maintained that its concerns are rooted in accountability rather than politics. The organization insisted it is calling for greater transparency in the appointment process and for qualified Belizean attorneys with years of experience before the criminal courts to receive meaningful consideration. The National Trade Union Congress of Belize, NTUCB, says it will wait for the outcome of the government's audit into the Ministry of Defense contracts before deciding what action to take regarding the ongoing controversy surrounding government procurement. Speaking to reporters over the weekend, NTUCB President Ella Waite said the organization believes the audit should be allowed to run its course. However, she added that if the review extends beyond the expected 3-month time frame, Ministers Oscar Mira and Florencia Marin Jr. should remain on administrative leave until the investigation is completed.
Well, they should. If it extends beyond 3 months, they should keep them on leave. Yes, it has to be. They have to show to the citizens of this country that when it comes to the limited resources we have, the financial resources we have, that it's been taken seriously, how it is executed when it comes to these contracts. So for us to take them seriously, that they want to make meaningful change, they have to ensure that happens. Yes, if it extends more than 3 months, they have to be out for more than 3 months.
Said the labor organization's next steps will depend on what the audit uncovers. She explained that the NTUCB will carefully review the findings before determining whether any further action or public response is necessary.
The first interview I gave with the media was simply that my problem would not have been if you already have a business that supplies that products before coming into government, before your relative came into government, or before you even got that contract. The thing is that it is not logical that you get a contract for products that you just open a business for when there are persons who have been in that business for many years, probably decades, that would not have had that opportunity. So it does show that something is not right, that there may be some level of, again, nepotism or fleecing money from our public purses. So it is there for concern, but again, we have to look at what products were received. The entire investigation has to be given to us. Why we did not take part, or call for our members to take part in a rally that the United Democratic Party had was one, because it's a political rally. No matter how you frame it, it's a political rally. And two, we would want to see what are the results of the investigation. NTUCB does not jump up because of emotions. We have to jump up when it comes to facts. And if the facts are, again, that if things went wrong, things went away, there is proof of nepotism, there is proof that monies was spent on products that was not received, then we will have to make a stand. And we call out our members to say, no, the facts are in, now we have to ask you, what action do we take?
Belize Electricity Limited, BEL, has warned customers that the country could experience load shedding as a result of electricity supply constraints from Mexico. Belize imports a large portion of its electricity from the Comisión Federal de Electricidad, CFE, Mexico's national power utility. However, during periods of high electricity demand in the Mexican state of Quintana Roo, power supply to Belize is often reduced, increasing the likelihood of controlled outages across the country. Addressing the issue, Minister of Public Utilities Michelle Shabat echoed recent comments made by Prime Minister John Briceño, assuring the public that the government is actively working to reduce the country's dependence on imported electricity and strengthen Belize's energy security.
We're in continuous discussion with CFE. The situation is that they themselves have shortages in Mexico. And so when they experience it, then here in Belize, we have to load shed, right? And so that is where we are. But for us as a country, it is important for us to find local means of energy production. A couple of days, actually Wednesday, we had a meeting with the government, the IPPs, the PUC, and BL, so that jointly we can find a solution. There is a certain gap that we're trying to fill, and so we felt that it is important to bring in our local producers so that we can have energy being created here at home and to try and lessen the dependence we have on CFE.
What's the greatest challenge we have with getting local producers of energy? I know that BL is renting, they're trying to get some more, but why is it that we are never able to fill these gaps locally?
Well, I think that we are trying hard to do that now. I think one of the biggest challenges has been to be able to fit into a certain cost target. So one of the major goals of this government is to reduce the cost of energy, and so that the cost at which the energy is being produced is very important. And so trying to get them within that bracket has been a real challenge. But I think having had that conversation on Wednesday, it really served to show all the sectors what we're looking for, where we're trying to go. And I think we're going to be seeing some increased generations locally.
Shabat said the government continues to pursue long-term solutions aimed at improving the reliability of the national electricity supply and minimizing the impact of power reductions from Belize. Minister of Public Utilities Michelle Shabat says the proposed $600 million investment by the Social Security Board (SSB) in Hydro Belize represents a sound long-term investment that will benefit both the country's energy sector and the Social Security Fund. Speaking on the proposal, Shabat said the investment will be managed locally by Belizeans and described it as a positive step towards strengthening national ownership of key energy assets while generating returns for the fund.
Well, you know, Social Security has a lot of money that they need to invest. If they don't invest, then their fund is going to be in problems, right? And so they have to invest in high-yielding returns. And I believe that Hydro Belize provides one of those returns for them. You know, and Hydro Belize is a local Belize company. It owns the 3 of our dams. And so one would believe that that is a secure investment and a correct investment for Belizean dollars.
The Belizeans have expressed, the public has expressed some concern about this. You know, it's public. Their funds, their money is going into it. And given that the previous owners of these shares gave it up for sale, it might not bode well. What do you have? What's your reaction to that concern?
No, at all. I think it's in Belizean hands, and that is a boon for us. For us as a country, it speaks to us as a people, and it speaks to our institutions as having faith in our Belizean companies. And I think that is absolutely incredible and necessary.
Hydropower projects have often raised concerns about their reliability during periods of prolonged drought. However, Shabbat said Belize has taken those risks into account. He noted that Belize has not experienced any severe drought conditions this year.
So obviously, drought will always impact any hydro industry, correct? Luckily for us, over the past year or so, we have not had any drought or so on. But I think Hydro Belize understands that, and I think what they're trying to do is to add some diversification. For example, the solar that you speak about, I know that they're still pursuing that. I can tell you that was raised at the meeting we had on Wednesday, and so I am hoping that shortly we're going to see a firm proposal from them that both BL and PUC may find acceptable.
The National Trade Union Congress of Belize, NTUCB, marked a major milestone over the weekend, celebrating 60 years of representing and advocating for workers across the country. The anniversary was commemorated with the premiere of a documentary highlighting the organization's history, achievements, and the role it has played in advancing workers' rights over the past 6 decades. The documentary reflected on some of the NTUCB's most significant moments, including its efforts to improve working conditions, protect employee rights, and promote fair labor practices throughout Belize.
We have some documents in our office from decades ago, but they're simply letters, finance information. There's no history recorded on those documents. So we have to reach out to the different affiliates, asking them if they have pictures, footage. We reach out to media houses who are willing to assist the help us with any footage that they would have of any activities union related. So we got some. We had some pictures in our office that we used. We had, thankfully, we have historians in Belize that assisted us as well with information. And we also had a book written a few years ago that had some information as well. So with that, we compiled everything. We got someone who was willing to produce and create the documentary for us. And we think it's a success. It allows us now to have a beginning of some place we can go to for this information. It took us 60 years to get here to document, but it's a start, and we hope that it can be continued throughout the life of the Congress.
So,
Wade also stressed the importance of attracting younger members to the labor movement, noting that there are currently few union members under the age of 30. She said the NTUCB is committed to changing that by encouraging more young people to become involved and understand the value of organized labor.
We have our, if you look right here, we have we have a QR code where young people can scan. We have it on our Facebook pages. We actually have a TikTok page for the NTUCB. We're trying our very best to reach out to young people using the platforms they use, social media. Again, we have a young, dynamic youth director who has been trying her hardest, opening WhatsApp groups, putting out flyers, going to every single event in this country that can promote young people in the movement. But we don't seem to be capturing these young people, and we don't understand why. So we need them to tell us what we're doing, what we're doing wrong to not capture them. But they have to understand too, they have a part to play. They have a part to play to ensure this movement carries forward. If we do not have labor unions in this country, we will be in serious trouble. And we will not live forever. We have to ensure we pass on this baton to young people, but young people who are willing to do exactly what we do, stand up for workers in this country and stand up for Belize.
As the NTUCB celebrates 6 decades of service, the organization says its focus remains on protecting workers' rights while building a new generation of labor leaders to carry the movement into the future.
This is something for me, not just a job, it's a passion. It's something that when I got elected as president was one of my objectives, to not let this labor movement die. It's sad because when we look around, most of the persons involved in labor movement are over the age of 35. we don't have a lot of young people. Like I mentioned in the documentary, in 2025, December 2025, when we had our AGM, we ensured that we amended our constitution to have a youth arm of the NTUCB. We now have a youth director. But I know the struggle she's having to get young people involved in the movement. It's either because they don't know the history of the movement, they don't appreciate what this movement has done for them, or what it can do for them. And if this movement dies, it will be a very sad day in this country. We don't have labor unions in this country. It will be a tragic day, because then if we think things are bad in this country, then we will see what is really bad. So it does get me a bit emotional to see persons like Sister Kathleen, persons like Sister Sharon here, or Ambassador, or sorry, our Senator, man, promoting the gentleman's ambassador, or Senator here. It does open my heart that we do have persons who are still willing to ensure the NTUCB succeeds.
And here is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
It is a distinct honor to be here in Belize for the launch of the Caribbean Development Bank's Basic Needs Trust Fund 11th program, BNTF 11. For more than 4 decades, BNTF has stood as one of the bank's most visible and impactful instruments for community-based poverty reduction. Here in Belize, the legacy is clear. Over the past 25 years, BNTF has completed 79 sub-projects in vulnerable communities at an estimated cost of $23.79 million United States dollars. Through BNTF 11, we have begun a new cycle of investments. This investment of more than $5.2 million United States dollars represents far more than approved financing. It represents a renewed commitment.
BNTF has supported transformative investments in education, water and sanitation, community infrastructure, livelihoods, and social development. Through BNTF 11, we have an opportunity to build on that legacy by ensuring that our investments respond directly to the needs of our people, particularly the most vulnerable among us.
The new school building has made a huge difference for me and my classmates. The improvement to our school have made our learning environment cleaner, safer, and more comfortable. Thank you to the Caribbean Development Bank, with the Social Investment Fund, the government, and everyone else who helped.
No one must be left behind. Not that child attending school in rural Toledo, not the farmer in Orange Rock, not the family in Corozal, not the communities that continue to face challenges accessing basic services.
The government of Belize has sought to clear up public confusion regarding reports about visa-free travel to Europe, reaffirming that Belizean passport holders are still required to obtain visas to enter the Schengen area despite recent announcements made by Spain. In a statement released on Monday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade explained that the republication issued by the Kingdom of Spain on July 14, listing 60 countries eligible for visa-free entry, was not a new policy. Instead, the document simply restates the existing list of third countries whose nationals are exempt from visa requirements under European Union Regulation 2018-1806. The ministry noted that decisions on Schengen visa exemptions are made collectively by all European Union member states rather than by individual countries. As a result, Belize remains among the nations whose citizens must obtain a visa before traveling to the Schengen area, alongside several other CARICOM member states. Officials stress that granting Belize a visa-free status would require a formal amendment to EU legislation, a process that goes beyond any announcement made by a single member state. Belize has been working with Spain and the European Union for several years in pursuit of a full Schengen visa waiver. Those diplomatic efforts achieved a significant breakthrough in November 2025 when the EU approved a measure allowing Belizean nationals with biometric passports to qualify for multiple entry Schengen visas valid for up to 5 years. According to the ministry, the long-term visa arrangement has made travel considerably easier for Belizeans visiting Europe for business, tourism, education, and family-related purposes. While acknowledging the progress already made, the ministry emphasized that discussions on a comprehensive visa waiver agreement remain ongoing. It reiterated that securing full visa-free access to the Schengen area, similar to that enjoyed by several Caribbean neighbors, continues to be a key foreign policy objective and reflects Belize's long-standing partnership with the European Union. Belize has joined the international outpouring of support for Guyana following a devastating ferry disaster that has triggered an extensive search and rescue operation and raised serious concerns over maritime safety. Prime Minister John Buscenda, speaking on behalf of the government and people of Belize, extended heartfelt condolences to Guyana after the passenger ferry MV Barima capsized off the country's northern coast late Saturday, leaving at least 2 people dead, dozens missing, and scores rescued. In a statement issued Sunday, Buscenda said Belize stands in solidarity with the people of Guyana as rescue teams continue searching for those still unaccounted for. Our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Guyana during this heartbreaking time, the Prime Minister said, expressing hope for the safe recovery of those still missing while offering comfort to families anxiously awaiting news of their loved ones. The MV Barima, which was traveling from Georgetown to the northwestern community of Port Kaituma, overturned approximately 7 miles offshore after sending out a distress call around 11 p.m. on Saturday. Authorities have confirmed that 67 people have been rescued, including 15 children, while at least 2 deaths have been reported. Many survivors suffered cuts, bruises, and exposure after spending hours clinging to floating debris, cargo, and life jackets before being pulled from the water. As rescue efforts entered Monday, officials warned that hopes of finding more survivors were fading. The tragedy has also exposed serious discrepancies in the vessel's passenger records. Although the official manifest listed 116 passengers and 17 crew members, investigators have since discovered that only 35 of the rescued passengers appeared on the official list, raising fears that the ferry may have been carrying significantly more people than originally believed. Guyana's Public Works Minister Juan Edgehill described the irregularities as serious operational breaches and confirmed that a criminal investigation is now underway. We are talking about operational breaches. People will be dealt with, Edgehill said, noting that the inaccurate passenger manifest had complicated search and rescue operations. The investigation will examine the ferry's operations, passenger records, cargo loading procedures, and compliance with maritime safety regulations. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips vowed that anyone found responsible for negligence or criminal wrongdoing would face legal consequences. Authorities have already arrested the vessel's captain and first engineer after both tested positive for marijuana. They remain in police custody as investigators continue their inquiries. Several survivors told investigators the ferry began taking on water after encountering rough seas, while others reported water had been entering the cargo section well before the vessel capsized. The MV Barima, built in 1939, underwent maintenance in 2024 and was reportedly scheduled for another major dry docking later this year. Meanwhile, a large-scale search and rescue operation involving the Guyana Defense Force, Coast Guard, private vessels, and regional partners remain underway as authorities continue searching for those still missing in what could become Guyana's deadliest maritime disaster in decades. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Tuesday, July 21st, here on Ctv3 News and Face FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3believenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3believenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News EZ. From all of us here at Ctv3, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.